Hi and welcome back to my channel. My name's Jade and today I'm going to be propagating a lupinum. So this little thing here. So I'm going to do it a little bit differently, and so that's why I thought I would share with you guys today how I'm going to actually do it. So I have this one that I'm going to be sort of setting up ready to propagate, and then I do have one that I've done a couple of weeks ago, and so then I'm going to show you where to go from there. So with this one, as you can see, it's been growing in leca. So since I bought it, I've not actually taken it out of this leca. So I'm going to get to see the roots for the first time with you guys today, and we'll see what we can do with it. So I'm just going to empty this out. So there's a bit of root rot here, as you can see. This is my table today, to not make a mess. So there we go, lupinum with pretty much all the rot off. So I'm going to propagate this in moss, and I'm kind of going to air layer it, but obviously without it still growing in the leca. So I'll show you what I'm doing, and yeah, it's something a bit different, but I thought I'd share it because I've had quite good success with it with lupinums. I've not tried it with anything bigger, but with them having such small leaves, it makes it quite ideal how I'm going to do it. So I'm just going to fill this with some moss. So we've got some wet sphagnum moss in there, which, you know, you can use perlite. I suppose it'd work just the same. So what I'm actually going to do with this is I'm going to chop it in half, because obviously it's not going to quite fit in here. So I think I'm going to chop it about here. So there is aerial roots on this. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but there is some dried up aerial roots as well. And yeah, I'm just going to chop it, and then we'll let it heal over, and I'll show you what I've done before. If I can even work my scissors. So I'm just cutting between two leaf nodes, and this leaf will be the leaf still attached to this down here. So there we go. Two sides, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with those shortly. I'm just going to let them heal over out of the way. Tidy up a little bit. So I did have a lupinum, which I think it was in my rare plant haul, my import that I got from Thailand, and I got two, and they both looked really, you know, they were really nice plants. So what I did was I'm growing one of them out, and then I decided to propagate one of them. So here is what I did with with one of the others, and so I chopped the top off that because it wouldn't all quite fit in here. So this was the top cutting, and it's just been growing quite nicely in moss. It does need potting up, so we're going to have a look at the roots of that in a little bit, and I'm going to pot it into some leca. And the rest of it I just laid in some moss. So I kind of air layered it as it had the main root system, but I laid it so that all the aerial roots would grow. So we're going to see how that's turned out. I'm going to empty it out onto here. Now I did actually cut the top off, and so the next leaf down, I did chop that one off just maybe a week or so ago. which is doing really well. It's actually got a leaf coming on it, if I can get it out of here. These have grown so vigorously. I'm not going to take too much of the moss off this one, because it's actually I'm sending it to someone tomorrow, so I'm not going to take too much off. But you can see, like, that's generally the roots there. I don't know if you'll be able to see how much, but it's a good root system, and the leaf is still really nice and healthy, and it's got a new leaf coming quite nicely on that. So that's one part of it. I'll just move them rotten roots out of the way. So now the main chunk of it. So these did have quite alright roots when they arrived. I'm just going to take the whole thing out so I can find the roots, and we'll see how this is doing. I might just cut it here and then start again when I've found the roots. So I've got most of the moss off, well, what I can, and here you can see the roots. To me, this is one of the easiest ways to get as many plants as you want out of just one plant. So this was where the original roots were. So this is how it looked, and I laid it. These were the original roots. Obviously there's a lot more root there now. I think I have sacrificed a couple of roots trying to get as much moss off as possible, but as I said, these are going to go into leca, and so they kind of just, yeah, I needed to get as much moss off as I possibly could. I am a bit naughty. I don't clean my roots perfectly. What I do when I'm planting in leca is I plant them. If they've got a bit of moss on, they've got a bit of moss on. I can't get every little bit off without just starting again with the roots. So I do that, and then I make sure that I shower them quite often to begin with, and that usually helps get any extra moss off. And yeah, but anyway, so this is now ready to be chopped up. Every single part of it has roots, and so I'll go ahead and chop these, and then I will show you all the bits that we've got, and yeah, how simple it's been. So I'm going to chop in between each leaf node, which can be quite delicate. There's one, two. The thing with these leaves is the sort of petiole really sticks in, so you do need to pull it apart a little bit to get right in there. And there we go. So what have we got? Oh, should we have a look at the roots of the top cutting as well? Because so this was the top of this plant. Let's move all these bits. And obviously this wasn't in the same container, but it's had the same treatment. It's been in moss, it's been well watered, it has got a new leaf coming, but this needs to go into leca too. I try to eventually get all my plants into leca because it's just so much easier. That's a root, don't pull the root. I think that I have 2 nodes here. But anyway, I'll just skip past this bit and I'll show you when I've taken all the moss off. Okay, so the top cutting, here we go. As you can see, there was 2 nodes, so we've got some good roots on the top and some reasonable roots on the bottom as well. But I am going to keep these as, we'll keep this as one cutting, just because it's growing quite nicely. It's got, you know, it's getting a new leaf coming through, it's getting another one, and yeah, I'm going to keep that how it is because it is really cute. So there you have it for the lupinum that I've already done this with. You can sort of see we've got, you know, this one that is the one that I'd already chopped off. It's got a new leaf and some good healthy roots, and then the rest, that's 1, 2, so this must have been the next top one because this has new growth on too. This was obviously the bottom one, which has some really good roots, and this isn't even moss, this is roots. and this little one as well. So they need to all heal over before I can pot them up, which is absolutely fine, because we'll go back to the other lupinum and we'll get that potted up exactly how I did this. So you can see how I've made it so easy for myself to make 1, 2, 3, 6 plants very, very easily. So I've decided I'm going to use 2 takeaway tubs for the 2 different parts, because after trying to untangle the roots of the other lupinum, I'm not going to make it more difficult for myself. So we'll start with the bottom part. So the bottom part already does have some roots on. They don't look the healthiest, and we've got some dried up aerial roots as well. Now there is only 1 leaf on this, so it will be quite easy to layer it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tuck these roots down at the bottom, like so, and then I'm going to squash it in, which, yeah, it seems a bit harsh, but it needs to be squashed in because every leaf node then needs to be covered with some moss, and that is the most important part. Is you need to make sure that all of it is covered, which is quite easy for this because there is only 1 leaf, like that. I'll do an update on this one in about a month, so you can see how it's doing, see how the roots are doing. Because a lot of these aerial roots are quite dry, it might take a little bit for them to come to. I might even put them in a heated propagator, this one behind me, but for now I'll just put them under my lights with the humidifier and what have you, and see how that does. So that's the bottom half, so that's already got roots, so it should grow quite quickly. The top half is like, I suppose it is like a cutting, but instead of it being a cutting, I'm going to try and get root growth from every single node along here. So what have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, although there is a leaf coming on the top, so I might have buggered that one up. But anyway, so this leaf is a bit scratty anyway, but I am going to leave it on just in case. Now these are significantly smaller than these other ones, as you can see, so we'll see how it does. Anyway, getting to it, so I'm going to place this in here, but what I'm going to do is try and make sure that none of the leaves are under the moss, but every leaf node where the aerial roots are covered in moss. So I'm going to, oh, that's a bit dry, that stuff, never mind. So I'm going to just tuck it round the bottom, a bit round there. So you just need to make sure you go in between each one, make sure that you cover everything. Like I said, these will go on under lights and they'll have a humidifier, so they should be okay. So there you go. There is 1 leaf that's sort of tucked under a little bit, but it's only a tiny one, and I'm sure it'll be fine. So that's that one, which, yeah, we'll see how it goes. Like I say, I've shown you the end product of this, and yeah, let's hope it works out quite nicely. I will try this with some other plants at some point. For now, I just thought I'd try it with lupinums, just because I had a few. Like I said, the other imported one is growing really, really well. We're trying to train it up some up a plank of wood at the moment, so I will show you pictures of that on my Instagram at some point. But yeah, I'm gonna get these ones potted up. They're all ready. So that's a different kind of propagation method. It's kind of air layering, it's kind of doing a cutting, but it's a bit of a mixture of both. And I do think that it has worked so nicely for me because I have got so many plants now that all have healthy root systems. They're all now going to concentrate on growing individually, and yeah, I'll do an update on these, all of this in, like I say, in a month or so. I'll wait until I've got some roots to show you, and yeah, I'll let you see how these ones are doing as well. Nice and quick today. I I hope you've enjoyed it. Give this video a like, subscribe, do all that stuff, share it with whoever you think might need a bit of help on the older propagation stuff. And yeah, let me know in the comments if there's anything you'd like me to cover in the future, or just tell me if you enjoyed the video, and if you're going to give it a try as well, because it'd be really, you know, really interesting to see if other people give this type of propagation a try. And if you do and you have success, obviously please let me know. If not on YouTube, I'm on Instagram. And yeah, right, better get on with this. So thanks for watching, and I shall see you next time.